Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventures in the Looming 20s, the Great Mardi Gras Fire. This is the first time that we've actually been able to play a Looming 20s game that directly correlates to an event from a previous one, so I think I speak for all of us when we say we're very excited to see where our little disasters go. Today is August 31st, 2019, and you are loved. Even the people who aren't hearing this right now or seeing it, if you're watching it on the YouTubes, you should let them know. Let them know that they are loved and that that we appreciate them. Because I feel like that's a very important thing to remember. Other important things to remember is that we do this show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm also going to try and keep Saturdays as a fun bonus stream day, so that way we can do more of this awesome Looming 20 stuff, because we have resigned ourselves to at least one game a month, because, man, this is some good fun. We have a Patreon set up where you can join us for our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community at large. If you already support us on Patreon, if you're already subscribed on Twitch, have I got a place for you? It is called bit.ly/adventure merch. We got mugs, we got posters, we got t-shirts, we got crop tops. Soon we're gonna get some pants, and I keep saying that, but by gummit, next Thursday, I swear this on stream, there will be pants. So, get ready for that. There will be pants. Give them pants. That is what the people want. Other than that, I think that's it. So, hey Satan, who are you playing today?
And yeah, she's shit. Let's see what happens. Escaping this fire. Fuck.
Chat says can't hear Lilith.
Fixed it.
Satan, got it.
I fixed it, so we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can always hear Satan.
Yes. And Wings, who are you playing tonight?
I'm Wings, and I'm going to be playing Harker, who is a occult detective who hunts monsters, and her sister's been turned into a vampire. So that's great.
All right, and Jen, who are you playing tonight?
I'm playing Beltane Hawthorne, the Fae that's been exiled from the Feywilds, Fey realm, whatever you want to call it, and he's the muscle/car driver for Lilith. Friends of the detective and Hazel?
It's like you're on thin ice.
He's already under. It's fine.
And I am the indoor adventurer, and tonight this morning, I'm gonna be playing sweet young Hazel Harker. She's a psychic turned vampire who just committed quite a bit of vampire treason. So let's see how that all plays out in today's newest Looming 20s. GB, take us away.
And I'm Graybeard, at Graybeard's Tavern, and I love this game. Well, I wrote it. I cobbled it together Frankenstein style at 1 a.m. in the morning. For those of you who've never been here, literally this game was breathed to life by me and these wonderful people at 1 a.m. to be played the next day at like 8 p.m. As a one-shot, and we've had such fun with it that this is the fifth session?
It's either fifth or sixth.
I think it's the fifth.
Yeah.
Because we had the original, we had the dragon. Oh, is it?
The original was a two-parter, then we had the dragon, and then we
have the Mardi Gras, and now
so
this
five.
one's the fifth.
Nice. Great. Okay. When we last left, they had some vampire hunters had tried to burn down the vampire court's ball at Mardi Gras. And the Okay, details that are important. There was a ball, and Lilith killed her sire, and Hazel put stakes through all of the court, the vampire court, from basically all over the United States. And some vampire hunters started the place on fire. You put there, Lilith ripped the head off her sire.
My sire's sire.
Her sire's sire. And Beltane and Harker attempted to summon something, and Beltane stopped Harker in the nick of time. Chaos ensued. We were running through the streets of New Orleans during Mardi Gras, so there's like parade and people and costumes, just insanity. Beautiful jazz music being played, nice 20s jazz, and I guess we'll pick up from there. So you guys are fleeing through the streets. You suddenly hear people screaming. The crowd around you that was partying, is kind of like, ooh, what's the big light coming? And so the wave of people are kind of turning, and the ballroom, the old building that is the ballroom, is completely engulfed in flames. And it looks like people are jumping out of the place and running out of the place on fire. And some of them are jumping from rooftop to rooftop. And as they run, their flesh is sloughing off and hitting the rooftops and starting other fires. And now people are really screaming now that they're seeing bodies running around. Those of you who can see beyond the veil know that these are vampires and vampire spawn that are fleeing. And hence that's why, they're not just dying like people would die. Some of them might have some kind of magic or such. And you see that, particularly you, Beltane, and a little bit from Harker, from Rue, that the fire now has a mind of its own. There is something spiritual going on with this fire. It is no longer just a vampire hunter's, incendiary in the boiler room. So screaming, running. Give me, Harker in particular, give me a wits, what's it called? Brains. Give me some brains rolls, please.
Does this have anything to do with would this have anything to do with like the supernatural?
No.
Okay. Let's see. That is a 9.
Okay. A 9 is a success. You see that and you saw this before as you left the building, but now you see that some of the vampire hunters are pursuing the people who are fleeing into the crowd, specifically your group. As you're moving through the crowd, there are at least 2 of the vampire hunters that you see that you either saw before and identified, or that you saw as you left the building. So they are on tailing you, at least at this point.
All right. Does it look like they're gonna try something, or are they just keeping an eye on us?
Because it's Mardi Gras, they have weapons, but it's like they're costumed up. So one has like a crossbow, but there's ribbons coming off of it, and they've got Mardi Gras masks on. But you could tell by their clothing that they're hunters like you. They've got like a breastplate showing under a heavy coat, or stakes or something. They look like vampire hunters.
Now, when we left off last time, I was protecting Hazel.
Yes.
Did we meet back up with Beltane and Lilith yet?
Yes.
Are we? Okay.
Yes, you are a contiguous group being pushed away by fleeing individuals.
All right, I'm gonna make the Fanged Among Us aware of our hangers on. I'll just kind of poke them and be all like, we got some friends following us.
What time of day is it?
Oh, it's nighttime.
It's nighttime?
Probably, it's not quite midnight.
Soon until sunrise.
Yeah, hours. Like
Hours,
4
okay.
4 or 5 hours.
Is it possible to somehow use my shadow power to like make us blend more into the night? Like in from between the crowds and like just kind of
If you get off the main thoroughfare, you could. Otherwise, it will look like some weird shadow.
okay.
In
So
the,
yeah, if we get off the main street where everything is, we could go to like darker alleys and like kind of I could hide the whole group.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just gonna like pull everybody into like a dark area and so we can keep running and use my Heart of Darkness. If it's not an attack, do I still have to roll for it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think we said your Heart of Darkness was charm, right? You're
Yeah.
charming the shadows to do your bidding.
Yes, I got exactly a 10, which is what I needed.
All right. So you duck into an alleyway and the shadows like pull themselves from the rooftops and whatnot and cover over your group. And Rue, you see these two hunters standing in the street looking, and they look right at you guys, and they kind of do that predatory kind of glare, and then one of them taps the other and they move on. And they move past you. You realize that the I guess Beltane, you would probably feel this the most. The fire seems to be after you at this point. You have gone to like the right-hand side of the street, and you feel the fire when you did that. You ducked into the alley. You felt the fire move itself to start consuming buildings coming towards you.
I'll tap Lilith and Hazel and say, "Watch the fires. It's something else. I don't know what it is, but it's something else."
Does it have anything to do with whatever summoning circle you were trying to get rid of?
Would I know that?
Yeah, you could give me your knowledge roll, but you do not get advantage.
Okay, doke. 8.
8. So as once Beltane says this, you you kind of focus your mind a little bit. You just stop and you're like, could it be? Because Lilith, you actually said that out loud, right?
Yes, because
Okay.
I went to go get Beltane and I knew that he was in this. I saw like the little circle thing.
Okay. And you saw it when Lilith saw it. It was blood, right?
Mm.
Okay. All right.
I think so. Yes.
Harker, did you ever see it become a circle of blood?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think it did change before you left. Okay.
That was mostly the reason why she didn't go through with it, because like, whoa!
What is this? Why did the candle turn black?
Guy's blood.
What's going on? Okay. So, yeah. So, yeah. As you kind of focus on what she just said, you feel. I guess you would feel the Fey part of you being pushed on, like as if the Fae was being pushed out, and the fire is after you. The Fae, it's not going anywhere. It's like it's being compressed inside your being. Your chakras, your chakras are being pressed down inside, and you feel like they're getting warbly, like something's trying to shove them out of you.
Ooh.
But yeah, the tension is there, and you can feel that this is something else. It isn't Fae magic. It's something else.
Yes, but does it have anything? Does it have to do with the magic circle that I was doing before?
You feel that, yeah, it does.
That's not good. It's not good at all.
But you haven't heard the little voice in your head.
Yeah, that's comforting.
Trade off.
Take the good, take the bad, take them both, and there you have. Okay. So what do you guys do?
Belle, were you able to clean up that little mess we had earlier?
I've dispelled it. I also did some other things I have to tell you, but
So, wait, hold up. Spell circles? What were you messing around with spell circles for?
It was you who did it? She's like looking at Harker.
Listen, we all do things that we regret.
Sometimes. Not really.
Why? What made you want to do a thing like that?
Well, I've been doing some... Listen, everything's kind of on fire right now. I don't have time to unpack all of this.
No, that's really true.
I've been messing around with that book, see, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but in retrospect, it doesn't... No, it wasn't a good idea.
Usually blood circles aren't a good idea.
Building collapses.
So
Dramatic like fire lighting, but they're just having a conversation.
as she's saying that, the glow is growing in the sky, and suddenly let's see, I guess it would be so as like I said, you can see the orange now. The smoke is billowing up, and the light from the fire is starting to reflect and cause, ripples in the shadow and the streets to be more lit. And suddenly a vampire on fire leaps the alleyway from the building you were on, and as it does, some of its flesh comes off in a tattered bit of flame, and it leaps to the other building, and then it stops, and it turns, and the fire starts to go out a bit, and it says, it would say, I want to make sure I got the right guy. Yeah. It looks at you, and it's like I said, the fire is beginning to go out, and it says, "You there, you're the one." And you notice that the stake that was in it, it's Philippe from Florida.
I forgot about
the stake had actually burned away, and he's standing there. I mean, just charred. You can barely tell it's him. And he basically points and says, "You the one." And
Who's he pointing at?
At Hazel.
Okay.
I slowly start handing Hazel a steak.
So I saw my sire end a vampire by removing head from body.
And burning.
Can I do a watch this roll while he is in his weakened state to see if I can just pop the head off like a cork?
Ooh, that'd be a hell of a roll. A hell of a trick is what I'm saying. That's pretty precise.
You could grab some of like the wood or anything that's fallen that's sharp and try to like slice his head
Oh
off.
yeah.
Roman gladiator style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Get out of
one.
the wall and just
Maybe some of the ceramic tile
Mm-hmm.
from like a broken edge of a ceramic tile. You could
Oh yeah.
fling it at him. All right, yeah.
I want the death frisbee.
Go ahead. Make that roll.
And also, before I roll, at the beginning of our game, we get luck points, right?
No, because we're
Okay.
contiguous. So
Right.
whatever you spent is gone.
You have no luck points.
I have one left.
Oh, yes.
That
Amazing.
is an 8.
Okay. All right. It slices through his neck, and he grabs it as this gout of red black ichor sprays out, and they twist away, and as they twist away, they transform, and you couldn't quite tell. Actually, Beltane, give me a brains roll to see if your heightened senses can tell what they change into.
Okay, good. 11.
Okay. Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
that they turn into like a weird flying snake. As he twists,
Quetzalcoatl?
yeah, very Quetzalcoatl type snake. Like I said, as he turns, he kind of morphs and shadows out, and then becomes serpentine, but he begins to fly, and is flying away. Yes, ma'am.
Can I like basically like not hog tie, but like lasso it with my shadows and like throw it into the fire?
Ooh, no, he's too far up, and he's in bright light, so there is shadow below him, but I don't think there's enough shadow for you to do that.
Okay.
It's just a little out of reach for that kind of
Okay.
thing.
I have nothing else that's long distance. That's it. That's it. I'm out, guys.
Other than like, beast form or spending blood to try to zip up there and make some kind of crazy leap.
Yeah, I'll do that. Fuck yeah.
All right. Yep, spend some blood.
I'll spend
point.
some blood. I believe so.
Oh shit! I just realized I have a gun.
You do have. But like a gun versus like giant flying snake. It's like with that time we try to shoot the giant dragon with the gun.
It works against a dragon.
So I'll unleash the beast, which it doesn't say I have to burn 1 HP. I think that's for like them moving fast.
Yes, but you're gonna have to.
Okay,
No,
so yeah, I'll do that. I'll
Right.
unleash the beast, and I'll use Now You See Me to like zip my way and basically just kind of like start riding this giant snake and like.
All right. So give me a your choice, agility or brawn roll.
Let's go with brawn because I have 0 agility and I have 3 brawn.
All right.
Ooh, that's good. Okay, so 6 plus 3 is 9 plus another 3 is 12.
All right.
Nice.
So she, and why don't you, because there might be people out there who's never seen you beast out, why don't you describe what you look like when you true form?
Lilith's
beast
my beast form. Lilith's true form is she still has very pale skin, but there's black veins that start growing from the back like onto her face. Her eyes go the white sclera of her eyes turn black, so it's just black and the red irises. Her fangs get longer and she gets like another set of fangs underneath and a smaller one behind her usual fangs. Claws come out and her features just look sharper and like much more unnatural, and her ears point a little bit. And it's just like It's just beast mode.
Does she still have her hair, or does her hair like turn into some kind of like mane or mantle or whatever?
No, I think she still has her hair because with what I think of vampires, like they're meant to hunt and to attract prey.
Okay.
So there's still some sort of like deadly attractiveness to it.
Okay.
So yeah, just parkour my way between these buildings and try to take down this Quetzalcoatl.
All right, so blam, blam, you bounce from wall to wall, and you leap upon the roof, and it's starting to go out over the street. This is it's got to be some kind of shoot. So agility at it. And does your beast form have different stats?
I don't know. We didn't talk about it.
Okay. Well, for now, no. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So an agility roll.
Yes.
God, I have 0 agility.
That's fine. You should still have a luck point or 2 because I don't remember you spending any. So
I think I spent 1. I'm not gonna use 1 because I rolled a 9, which is still a partial success.
Yep.
So I'm gonna take that roll.
All right. You snatch Philippe out of the air again. He's like some kind of like a python type snake.
Mm-hmm.
And his wings are definitely way too small to make this 15-foot long snake fly. So it's obviously some kind of weird magic. But you've snatched onto him, and you're falling. Both of you are falling down, because again, his flight is probably not his forte in snake form. And as you're falling, he begins to wrap around you, and you've got a section of him.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do? You're falling out of the sky.
Well, if he's wrapping around me, technically he's gonna cushion my fall. But whatever section of him I have, I want to try to like tear it apart.
Okay. Again, he's made of the same stuff you are, so you're gonna have to bite through if you want a chance at that. So
I'll do it.
All right.
I'll do it.
Go for it.
I'll go full feral on this bitch.
Give me a bronze roll on him. And then after your bronze roll, we're gonna cut away. What'd you get?
I got literally I've been rolling a 6 and a 3 every fucking roll.
Okay.
So I get a 9 plus 3. That's a 12. Okay. 11 is 11, a 12.
All right. You're falling out of the sky, and we get this close-up feral look, and you just go, does your jaw dislocate at all?
I want to think that it like does.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So it goes out, and you just munch into him, and he, as much as a snake can, just basically lets out a snaky hiss, a wailing hiss as you fall. Whoop, back to the alley. What did you guys do? Your mistress just disappeared.
Beltane's not concerned. He's torn off a bit of his shirt, wrapped his hand where he's placed it on the book, and looks to the others. We should keep going. She'll catch up with us.
Okay. Where are we going? Train station?
Train station.
Hopefully they let us out on trains going out of here. Otherwise, we're going to need to find some place to hide out.
I can mechanical it out.
Harker, you with him?
Yeah. I think she was just kind of watching that happen with like no small amount of fear and awe. And she just kind of like snaps out of it, and she's like, yeah, train sounds good. Let's get the hell out of here.
Okay. As you move back out, now not covered in shadows, I guess you can all give me a brains roll, please.
Oh fuck! Great.
Nice.
Brains. Okay, so
nice.
Initially, I also forgot to add my stat to my roll because it's been a while since we've played this game, but that's fine. So this time I got a 9 because I remembered to add my stat.
All right.
10 exactly.
Okay. All right. You guys get to the edge of the street, and you notice that the crowd is kind of moved out because these buildings are bursting into flames around you. The crowd is gone, but the hunters are there in the street.
All right. I rolled a 12.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you. Like I said, you stopped. You guys stopped before you got to the end of the alley or out of the shadows. There is a group of 4 hunters, and they are meticulously looking at windows and houses and waiting for the fire to flesh out their game, as it were.
Just kind of pat my pockets for a moment, pull out my guns. Hazel, do you know how to use a gun?
Not really.
Alright, do you want to learn?
Sure.
Why would she need to learn how to use a gun? She is a gun.
Sometimes you just want to make things go boom. Now, I'll give Hazel
Can't
a
argue
gun.
with that logic. Hand it over.
Give her one of my guns, because I've got to. I just kind of correct her
No,
stance.
God, no. Looks at it.
I correct her stance. Don't do that. So, see the sight, aim down the sight, look down the sight. Your hands just go here, here, here. Shoot that man at the farthest distance if he approaches us. And Harker, you've got your gun?
Yeah.
Alright.
Pulls it out.
Got mine. 1 target for each, 1 left over. Can you all shoot on my go?
Yeah.
Amazing. Brilliant. It's not like a demon fire's consuming us. All
And
right,
the
stand
building
there.
the building next to you is smoking already. So
He's like, when you're afraid, you become super sarcastic. He's at that point.
all right. Okay. So
I'll move Hazel over a bit. On the count to 3, move her over a bit more. Remember, down the sight, aim, raise my gun, fire. I'll let loose a bullet at the one towards the middle-ish.
all of you give me an agility roll.
Oh, get an extra D6.
Hazel, we'll go with you last. I like that look. Harker, where's Rue? What do you got?
I'm gonna try and fire non-lethally if I possibly can, just like a flesh wound.
Just but a flesh wound.
11.
Okay. Are you kneecapping someone or trying to shoot the gun out of their hand, Wild West style?
I'm gonna kneecap him so he can't follow us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, bust those kneecaps.
As cool as the other thing is.
All right. The hunter goes down in a lump. He's crawling, and the other hunters look at him. Beltane?
Because I get a D6 because I'm proficient in guns.
Mm-hmm.
18.
Okay. All
Holy
right.
shit.
You're just center massing this guy, or
Yep, center mass. Take him out.
All right. Another hunter he goes down Wild West style, like blown off his feet. Okay. Hazel.
I got a 5.
All right. All right.
Or no, it'd be a 6. Still a fail, but
Still a fail.
Yeah.
All right. So you raise the gun and you're like, I don't know how this works. And as you go to shoot it, you like fling the gun from your hand with your mind powers. You literally are like, make the bullet go to him, go at him, and the gun just goes out of your hands, whirls across the street, and the hunter goes whoa and ducks and fires back at you.
I'll just look at Hazel. That was a good attempt.
Okay, so
Crazy gun, but good attempt.
give me a D6 roll. Tell me odd or even.
it's odd.
Odd. Okay. So the what he shoots at you is a bullet, which is a good thing because he didn't have the crossbow. So the crossbow would have shot a stake in you, and you'd have been stuck.
Good.
But this is a bullet that has been blessed, and so
Hashtag blessed.
hashtag blessed. So it rips through you with 2d6 damage.
Ooh.
So roll that up.
Oh no, baby.
A d6 for being a gun, and d6 for being blessed.
Oh my god, what is my HP? Oh, okay.
Total.
Okay. 5 damage as this holy bullet rips through you. And you have probably been shot before by one of your Johns at some point. Someone, because of the town you live in, probably put a bullet in you, and you noticed that it didn't, whatever. It went in, it came out, no big deal. This ripped through and burned.
Oh, that's
This
not good.
It left like a tunnel through you of owie.
An anime tunnel. Just
Yeah, exactly. A very small one, but an anime tunnel of owie, of burning owie. Okay. What do you do?
I want to crush. He's wearing a breastplate. I want to crush the breastplate in.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I forget what we call your telekinetic
Watch
powers.
this.
Watch this. Watch this. Okay.
So she'll rear back and look and just, you shot me. Just like blood on her hands, reach out and just makes a crushing motion with her hand towards this guy.
Okay.
That's a 7.
Okay. Okay, partial success. He crushes in on him. It does him damage. Let's just keep it simple. D6 on him.
2.
Oh, okay. It's enough to throw him off. He's stumbling and trying to tear at the breastplate. Beltane?
I'll take another aim. You got this, Hazel?
He actually shot me.
Of course
It
he shot you.
hurts!
He has a gun. Of course it hurts.
What?
It's
No, I mean, like, I've been shot before, but this guy's just different about it. Why?
a hunter. Of course it hurts. I'll shoot again.
All right.
At the other target.
Okay.
7 plus 2, 9.
Okay. All right. Again, partial success. Roll damage. D6.
3 points of damage.
Oh, he's hurting. He's hurting. He's not incapacitated, but a good shot. These guys are, a normal person would like flee or scream. This guy, again, they're vampire hunters. So he kind of takes it well, and shoots back. So Beltane, lead bullets. What did they do? Where did they just hurt, right?
They hurt like a lot.
All right. So back at you for let's say 2d6 then.
Okay.
Damage.
Okay, 2d6. 4.
4. Okay, 4 points of damage as the metal rips into you.
Okay.
And the worst part is that it is now smudged your suit.
Bastard.
That's really what he's upset about.
I'm not upset I've been shot. I'm just upset I've got to pay for a new shirt.
Okay. And Harker, you partialed, or you totally succeeded.
On the guy that I got. So there's one guy left, and he's causing all kinds of trouble for my buddies. I'm gonna use my crack shot ability to roll with 3 dice instead of 2 on a ranged attack once per scene. I say holding up 2 fingers. And so yeah, I'm just gonna see my sister in pain and danger. I'm gonna step in front of her, and I'm gonna go for a kill shot.
Okay.
And the gun sideways. No, I don't do that. 8, 11,
Gangsta-roo.
14.
Okay.
He already busted someone's kneecap.
Yeah. So pop, this guy just, half a head slumps backwards.
I want to go find the guy that I kneecapped.
Yeah.
And I'm going to like point my gun at him and say, I want you to tell all your little friends to stay the fuck away from my sister.
Okay. And you guys in the alley, when she walked out into the street, the flames from the building that you were standing in all leaned towards her. Like literally the wall you're standing against is smoking, but no flames are coming out of it. There's no windows on that side of the building, but out of the front and the roof of the house that's on fire, the flames lick towards her like are on edge. Like if they could, they would leap from the building and grab your sister.
Just silhouetted in flames as she's saying this.
Exactly, standing over him in silhouette. He's just let me live, as he's like gimping his way across the street.
Pyromaniacs.
Yeah. So he's gimping away into the alley on the other side of the street.
I let him go.
Okay. Through the air you fall, Lilith, ripping the snake in twain, and it twists. The front half of it twists on you, and it leaps out, and it dislocates its jaw and becomes very vampiric. Its eyes are red, and it tries to bite at you for the same sort of thing. Let's just say because he's biting, it's a D6 damage that comes back at you.
Do you want me to roll it?
Yes. Generally, I will never roll a die in this game. So like I said, his head whips around and it just goes, bites into your shoulder.
5 whole points of damage.
Excellent. Write that down. Okay. Philippe. Okay, and then you guys hit the ground, each for a D6. So roll one for me, or one for you, and one for him.
I rolled 4.
Okay.
I didn't pick which one was which, so you tell me who gets what. I rolled a 4 and a 1.
Try it again. You go ahead. This time, one at a time.
Okay, I'll pick this one for Lilith and this one for him.
Okay.
Oh shit. Okay, I got a 5 and he got a 6.
Okay. All right.
Oh shit, guys.
As you hit the ground, you smash into the cobblestones below, and the snake that is latched onto you, like all the way from like here to your shoulder blade on the backside. The snake end is wriggling, and then it flaps to the cobblestones, and Philippe is no more.
Okay. Cool. I picture she's just like mouth, like it's just covered in like vampire blood.
Yep.
She's gonna pop out her little flask and drink her lifeblood, which gives her back 2 points of HP.
Nice.
Because she's at 4 hit points, guys.
Yep. Okay.
And try to figure out where everybody went. Smell the air. I don't know.
Okay.
What do vampires do?
So you see that the fire has, from the street you're on is only one street away from where you were, but you see that the fire has spread out and was going both directions, but now it is mainly following you guys up this side of the street. Mm-hmm. And you also, the building that you were standing next to, you actually see the fire bending towards the other street.
Okay.
And it is leaping to the next building. So now the fire is the alley you came out of, or would have come out of, to this street is now kind of wreathed in flames on this side. Okay. As it's curling back in towards the alleyway. So
I can follow the fire.
You're gonna have to go around the fire and like come out
Okay.
ahead of where they might be or should be.
Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna just like kick this vampire body back into the fire just in case he's
Okay.
just like pull up my dress like daintily and just and kick it.
Okay. Both
Yeah.
halves. One
She's
after
just
the other.
like, go.
Goal. Goal. Okay. It begins to sizzle and pop like it was before, and when he leapt the roof, except this time you see it's spreading out and becoming like a melted candle of fire being consumed.
And I'll go the other way around and try to make my way back to the group.
Okay. And obviously not spending blood. Are you
Yeah.
maintaining your bestial form, or are you returning?
I will just in case
Okay.
because I do more damage that way.
Okay. All right. Out in the street, as basically the flames had pushed Beltane and Hazel from the alleyway, as the fire started. Just the heat began to, you could feel you were getting pretty burned, like a sunburn from a fire. So you were kind of pushed from the alleyway. As you see, the far end of the fire has licked around the building you were in, and it has started to burn the building you're at. You hear bells, like fire wagons, basically fire wagon bells, but they're not going to do any good for this. This is something else. And as you guys are gathering up in the middle of this street, do you do anything with the dead hunters, or just leave them lay?
I'll toss them into the fire. Pick up my gun.
Okay. All right.
We'll need to get you a person, Hazel, to feed off of.
Okay. And you chuck them into the fire. And yeah, dead blood does you no good. So, so you chuck them into the fire. And as you're doing that, Lilith appears from the alleyway up ahead, and you guys see each other. What do you do?
She's looking a little rough. she's definitely looks better than right now.
Yeah, Hazel, almost half of her HP got taken in that single bullet that she took, so she's also just like looking really sad and rough, just holding her shoulder that has a lot of blood coming out of it.
Yeah.
So the fire wagon bells are closing in, getting closer.
We need to go.
Yeah, let's go. I'd rather not repeat London again. Thank you. Let's go.
What happened to you always having a vehicle ready for every situation? We could sure use one of your limousines now, Belle.
Look her in. Yeah. Let's go find a car and break into it.
Give me a brains roll, because most people in the 20s, if they owned a car, would have driven it away from the fire. So,
9.
Find a junker.
Yep, you find some pickup truck that, it's got like wood slats for a back end and a like pallets for the bed of the truck, and there's an old truck ahead. You do see that the fire Rue down the way leapt across the street. As you cross the street into this truck, getting into this truck, down a ways where the fire is ablaze, it leapt to the other side of the street and is making its way towards you and the vehicle.
Do I notice this with my vampire eyes?
Yeah, you don't.
What do you see with your vampire
eyes.
I can see it with my human eyes. You're not special.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I don't know.
Look with
I
your
just really
special
wanted
eyes.
that.
like I said, Rue can feel this, can feel the fire like as a presence pushing in on your fae, and it's strange because Beltane, you can't. It's not doing the same thing to you. You sense that this fire is not natural, but you know that it's not fae. Something else is going on here.
Belle, do you feel that? Because my inner flower child is just not very fond of this.
I don't know. Could it be the demon you tried to summon on the entire world?
Listen, I have no idea what the hell that was.
Oh, sure, and I'm the bad guy on that one, huh?
Why did you try to summon something if you didn't know what it was?
I wasn't exactly in my right mind, and I don't think you're striking the proper tone here. She's gonna like pull up her sleeve and say, "Which one of you is closer to death?"
Your sister.
I'm gonna offer my arm to her.
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay.
Big offer.
It's fine. Everybody's here.
Beltane just watches like, huh.
Can we do this while we're in the truck?
Yeah.
While we're running away?
Yeah,
So
who's driving?
Who's riding
Oh.
where? All four of you will not fit in the cab.
I would assume Lilith and Beltane in the actual truck, and then Hazel and Rue in the back.
Yeah, I thought that too.
That's where they belong. That's where the kids go.
All right.
Kids go in the back.
Kids in the back.
Beltane's driving stick. He loves
Okay.
it.
Which also
Alright.
means that I'm sitting in the back seat with nobody to pull her off me if
Okay.
she goes too far.
There is no back seat. There's
Well, I mean,
It's
I'm
the
talking
truck
the
Yeah.
trunk.
The truck.
We're
Okay,
in where the pickup
the
part.
flatbed. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You guys are in the flatbed.
Offered, so
So okay.
No seatbelts.
Go ahead and give a roll there, Hazel, to take from your sister.
All right, what die am I rolling for this?
I believe it's a D6, right? You have the ability.
you can spend D4 to see how much HP damage is dealt.
Okay.
Okay.
So how much HP you regain and how much damage is dealt. You will have to take off all your garlic stuff though.
That's fine.
Oh yeah. Okay.
All my garlic flowers were in my hat, so I just take off my hat.
Okay. All right.
That's a 1
Okay.
on the D4.
So you lose 1, you gain 1. Do you continue?
I feel real sketchy about this whole operation, but
Oh, now you feel sketchy about the
yeah, 'cause
Now
it's,
you feel it?
it's with my sister. It's different.
this murderer.
It's
Now-
different when it's family.
And you were below half or at half?
I was a little bit above half.
Okay. All right. Then I'm not even going to make you roll like a moxie or anything to stop yourself from, because you generally don't just drink a little. You generally go for it.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So I'm going to let you, but because it's your sister, we're not going there.
Okay.
Because you're above half. If you were below half, your sister may have to like punch you off.
Yeah, no, Hazel just takes the teeniest, beatiest amount of blood from Harker.
Okay. So you do it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
A 2. And then
Okay.
I'm fine after that. I'm good.
Okay. 2 more points back, 2 more points down.
Cool. No biggie.
And
Thanks.
so
You owe me a cookie.
and Hazel, as this begins to heal the hole and course through you something's wrong. Something you feel like you're gonna throw up, even though there's no food in your stomach to throw up. You have not felt nauseous in a very long time. Meanwhile,
I don't like that.
Beltane, you get the old truck going, and for visual purposes, you stomp on the pedal, and it the wheels spin for a second, then it goes and it starts rolling away. And
Baby, I just stroked the dash. Oh, you poor thing. I'm gonna take you home.
Careful, please.
So you start to pull away. As you're driving away, this multiple wagons come past you, these big bulbous tanks and like 6-horse teams, bells ringing on the horses' harnesses, and there's a guy on the rig pulling and a bell clanking, and there's guys all hung on the side holding on to it. The fire department has arrived, and you see the horses come up short once they passed you because they see the fire, and I guess the two in the cab don't see this, but Rue and Hazel, you're looking back, and as the horses pass you, the fire like leaps out, and it just kind of engulfs the street itself, and the horses neigh and shy away, even though they're trained to be fire horses and they have blinders on. The horses want nothing to do with this. They buck in their harnesses, and they're trying to flee, and it's just a muddled mess because they're trying to flee in every direction, so the people on the wagons can't get the wagons turned around. Do you do anything, or is your nausea enough to keep you there?
I don't like what's going on in my tummy, but at the same time, there's not much we can do to stop this fire. I can't calm the horses.
Harker, you see these innocent firemen are about to be engulfed in demonic flame, or what you assume to be demonic flame.
Oh my god. Okay, so I feel something weird going on with like the Fey influence inside me, and also that fire.
Yes, the fire is obviously after you.
Yeah.
I'll give you an option or two. If
Okay.
Beltane were to take like a hard right or a hard left, the fire may chase you.
All right.
Hence, they will not be, because literally at this point, it's trying to swirl down the street from both sides of the alleyway, and it's just going to take these two wagons of like 24 of New Orleans' finest and immolate them.
All right. I'm gonna bang on the cab of the truck and say, "Bell, hang left."
All right, take a sharp left.
Yeah, the wood frame and the pallets are bouncing and rattling as the poor old truck makes a much harder left than it can. Also, too, these are cobblestone streets, so of course it's a ride.
Poor car.
And
His heart is breaking.
Yeah. So, what's going on in Hazel right now?
I don't know. You tell me, Game Master. You said that the streets aren't doing well, so they're like super bumpy. It's also not allowing any kind of stomach settling to go on. She's not in a good place, I wouldn't think. Like, does it just keep intensifying?
Yeah, you swear that there's a swamp in your belly. Is it? Oh.
Yep, just lean over the side.
And basically
I'm concerned about what you're about to say.
Moss?
Oh.
Willow branches, like the willowy branches.
No.
Flowers,
Oh.
lily pads. And you swear there was a toad. All come out when you vomit. And it's a projectile vomit hits the street, and a little area of mossy swamp appears. It appears like a little area of swamp, like a vomit-sized pool of swamp, and that toad does leap from it.
I want to bring him with me. If I can watch this him to me, like this is my son now. I made him.
This is our baby.
Okay, go ahead and try to yoink this
That's a
toad off
9.
the street. Yeah. Yoink, you yoink the toad to you. But in doing so, you get him to you, and you feel him. Did my familiar appear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The toad lands on your hand, and your palm where he sits, your palm, it kind of spreads out like the moss spreads out on your hand, but it stops just where he's sitting. It's your palm is now like a mossy bit. Your insides still don't feel right, but you feel better than you did.
Hand the frog to my sister.
Harker, you just saw this happen, and then you saw him or her yoink this something into her hand, and then she hands you a toad.
I think it's my son.
This might as well happen. How does the flames interact with the moss we just left behind?
So you guys were far enough ahead that they did. Really? This is a thing now?
Oh. Yeah.
Come on, give me a break. Give me just a sec. I am actually allergic to cats, so if I don't do this, I'll be on fire in a minute. So the flames leapt to the same side of the. I know she's going to be there the whole time unless I yell at her. No, not in the camera. So the flames did jump to your side of the street. The whirling firestorm that was coming down the street did leap to the side of the street you're on and is coming down the buildings. I'm gonna say maybe as you guys are racing away, you see that the fire does lick at the swamp and does, do what it would do to a swamp. It sort of bubbles and boils it away. But again, it's wet. It's like a swamp. So
did it seem attracted to it the way it was attracted to me?
No, not at all. Just
all right.
Incidentally. Hey, Stella.
Thank you for the
There
raid.
goes my plan for a sacrificial
Zombie
toad.
fighter.
We are getting corgi rated. This is great.
I know. Hey,
That's
Corgi
not a
Ray.
raid.
Big corgi hearts to you guys too. So hail raiders. So if I had an axe, I would have banged it on the shield. But anyway, so the little swampland that you created in your vomit sizzles away on the street, and the fire does sort of leap towards you. Now it's as you're getting away from the city, you could see how weird the fire looked. It started here and it had spread out, and then it came up one side of the street and came up the other side of the street, and now it's all shifting towards the way you're going.
Thank you, Zombie Fighter 89, for the follow.
Oh,
GB,
really?
would you like to do the thing?
Yes. All right, bud. You got to move, or at least hold on. Yeah. All right. Normally, Zombie Fighter, when someone becomes a follower of the show and I'm on and I don't have a cat on my lap, I take this mallet and I hit that guy right in the face. Yay. Woo! And you go. All right. So, nice. Thank you. So, as you're racing away, the fire does seem to try to follow you. You are outpacing it now that you're in the truck. Demonic fire can only do so much, or alleged demonic fire. As that goes, you guys find yourself getting to the train station. The trains are ablaze. The ones that couldn't escape are already in fire. The old dried out wood and the cheap terrible paint used on those cars. They went up like matchboxes. They all the coal and stuff. So the train yard is ablaze. You're sitting at a set of where tracks cross the cobblestone road. You're sitting there and you see the train yards are on fire.
Great.
You notice ahead there's the cobblestone road kind of starts to peter out and turn to dirt road, and you notice that's the train tracks cross there. As the truck pulls to the train stop and you stop and survey the train tracks, how to put this? You vampires. Okay, let me ask this. Satan, what is your favorite smell? The whole world. Food, I mean.
Food wise?
Yeah.
The first thing that comes
specifically?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is like, when you enter like an ice cream shop and they're making like the waffle cones?
Mm-hmm.
That.
Okay.
That
so
smells real good.
A smell, a blood smell that is as intense as that yum, that waffle cone yum, wafts into your senses, Lilith. You smell, bloody waffle cones. I don't know. It's that level of yum that just you have never smelt yummy blood like this.
Okay, so Lilith is like under half her hit points.
Oh no.
So
let's hold on that. Or indoor. What is your favorite food smell?
My favorite food smell is when you go into a really good pasta shop or like a ramen place, like just kind of that very rich, brothy, that kind of scent. Either, like I said, either ramen or like Italian pasta, either way.
Okay. All right.
Hazel wants that good neck soup.
Gotta get the neck soup.
It's a marinara.
The same thing happens to you. You suddenly, you were looking down at the fire and you just, that swampy feeling kind of disappears for a sec. And you're like, oh, if only I could have some of that. That would settle my stomach. And you begin to look over the top of the truck. Beltane, you there. Has Beltane ever been to like the night court or dealt with the Unshaylee directly?
Yes, he has 2 siblings in that court, so he goes there when he was allowed quite often.
You feel a wave of that energy, that dark energy, like literally like smash into you, almost physically moving you. Your that in you that is Fae is washed over in this wave of dark energy. Harker, you feel. Do you remember when you talked to the Grim Reaper?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah, you feel that kind of power touch you in a way that, and what it does is it pushes on the part of you that is Fae also, and then you feel it push against the pull of the fire. You feel like it's shielding you from the fire, like something's happening, and you feel the direction of it. And like I said, all of you were hit with this sort of feeling and smells, and you all just sort of were looking one way, and you all just kind of together and like look up and over the slats or through the slats, and you see this woman standing at the edge of the swamp. And she's very dark complected. Her eyes are like gold, particularly with the flames licking against them. Her pupils are like golden, and she reaches out a hand, and I know it's going to sound corny, but she says, "Come with me if you want to live."
Just drive into her.
Okay.
Terrible.
Would I recognize this lady?
You do not.
Okay. Crazy. Okay. I'm
This
like,
is-
oh,
this
hey.
is- This is something from the New World, obviously.
Now,
So would it be appropriate that if Lilith smells this and she's under half her hit point, she's like
yeah.
going like
Yeah. So give me a fortitude roll. Sorry.
I have 0 on that as well.
I'm just
Y'all are
saying.
remembering to take experience from failed rolls, right?
I'm in
It's those waffle cones, man. You gotta go after them. Okay.
So I rolled a 4, but I kind of want to spend a luck point.
Yeah, I would do that. I would really seriously do that.
Okay,
It's
we're
fine.
good.
I can tackle her.
It's a 9.
Okay. All right.
I can tackle her. I'm pretty
I've learned something new about myself, and is if I get drunk by a vampire, they barf. So let's do this.
Okay, so you literally this smell hits you, and you, because you're still in your beast form, and you like and you crack the window of the truck, the windshield, and the window break, and it's just enough resistance for you to like rein your hunger in, and kind of shake it off. Do you maintain beast form?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Well, would that hinder my ability? Like, would that give me disadvantage on any other control checks?
You are pretty sure that in your beast form, your hunger is stronger.
Okay, then I would. I'm assuming after a couple like decades and hundreds of, and 100 years of being a vampire, I would know this. So she will phase out of beast form, but like I would think there's still like a deep growl in her like chest,
Right.
and she just looks at Beltane. She's like, I
just point to the window. This car does not need more abuse.
and she's like covered in blood, a giant vampire snake like wound on her, like she's like dying. She's like,
Full
fuck
on
you.
sass from this fae.
I offered.
She's gonna punch Beltane in the arm.
Okay. and having just exited beast mode, I mean, it's like bam, and Beltane like boom, bangs against the door, and like this window is now cracked because your head slams into it. And she punches you like way too hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you take it like a champ, no real damage, but oh, the sass, the sass has cost you.
Where is
All
Gold
them
Eyes
tits,
McGee?
Lilith.
Where's Gold Eyes McGee in relation to us and the fire?
The cobblestone goes this way, the road goes this way into like a forested like area. She's standing on the edge of it, and she still has her hand outstretched.
So do we just drive?
Beltane will drive up to the edge and say, "Everybody out."
yeah, I'll
Okay.
hop out of the back.
All right,
Still just not feeling good.
Yeah.
Okay.
The vampires are kind of like not feeling great at the moment.
Okay.
But
And I'm getting like Grim Reaper vibes from Gold Eyes.
Yeah. But you know that it has shunted the fire. Whatever magics that is, you know that it is taking the fire off your trail.
We have a son now.
What?
What?
Oh, I thought you were like doing like some chakra
No,
stuff.
it's the toad.
Where the fuck did you get a toad?
It fits in the palm of your hand.
Where did you get a
Alright.
toad?
When I drank my sister's blood, my stomach's been feeling real funny. I threw him up. He was just real cute though, so I wanted to keep him.
Come, children, come now. Come into my. Come
I'll
with me.
point to Hazel and Harker. You're both grounded until further notice.
I just open up a
Go
pocket
towards
in
the
my
lady.
coat and
Yeah.
stuff the toad in.
You don't have that authority over me.
I'm pretty sure I do. I created you. Keep going.
Yeah.
Lilith's
Okay.
gonna like hang onto Beltane's arm and walk with him.
Okay. As you enter the swamp, forest, jungle, whatever it is around the bayou, as you enter, things become quiet, like real quiet. Like the sounds of nature around you, you don't hear. No crickets, nothing moving off in the distance. Nothing at all. Lilith, again, that smell is just like, oh my goodness, it smells so good. And it's like you said, it's that when you walk into the ice cream shop, that first smell, but it's constant first smell. It will not abate. The brothiness has settled over you, Hazel, like you're swimming in soup, but you can't actually get any.
Lilith is probably just gripping tighter onto Beltane's arm, and like the deep
My arm,
growl just
like
kind
my
of
arm.
grows.
Please don't break my arm.
And
You'll be fine.
she says,
Yes.
she, without looking back or turning and talking, she just says, no worry, Nightwalker. We will get you some food. And she just says that, but it's directed at Lilith, and yeah, and that's all she says. You guys notice that the where she's walking seems to be like the perfect path. And Beltane, you can feel the woods, the foliage and stuff closing behind you.
Just smile and say, I would stay very close to me. And trust me when I say don't give them your real names, don't eat the food. Trust me. Please.
And as you're going, the land becomes soggier, and there's a boat there, like a Johnny boat. You guys know what a Johnny boat is? Like an airboat, but without the air part of it. It's just like a flat bottom boat, a very squarish Johnny boat, and it's big. It's really big, like you would move cargo through a swamp in this thing. And she steps in, like every step she's taken has just been like she's walking on the moss itself. And she steps in and she just walks to the very front of the boat, and the boat doesn't tip, tilt, or move as she steps in it. Do you guys enter the boat?
Yeah.
Okay. Who first?
Beltane.
Beltane.
I've probably straddled the land in the boat to help everybody on. Like,
Okay. Yeah, Beltane, again, your solid form does tip the boat a little, but you don't see her move. So as the boat tips, she stays pretty upright, like she's made of air or something. And so you help everyone on, and as soon as you sit down, Beltane, the boat begins to move. of its own accord.
As it moves, as Lilith is settling down, she's just gonna ask the person, like, who are you? And like like kind of like she's not really like up to like Ace, but like trying to be like a little bit intimidating as much as he can be in her rough state.
All right. As you real quick, I'm gonna say, JD lady, yeah, old bull in Night Court, best ending to a sitcom or television series ever. Amazing. Sorry, she brought up Night Court, and I love that show. So as you begin to speak, and your voice, almost cracks a little, she says, I am Madame Lebeau. And that settles over you, like it should mean something the way she says it, but I don't think.
Oh.
Well, I'll let Lilith and Beltane make brains rolls. No, just make straight up brains rolls. We'll go with that.
10.
Okay.
10.
Beltane, you remember, because you read a lot of newspapers, you remember a story of a murderer, a Jack the Ripper type murderer that was loose in New Orleans, and the police had no idea what to do, because this murderer appeared to be a ghost. And you remember that they enlisted the help of a local woman named Madame Lebeau to suss out and get rid of this unwanted spirit. Lilith, you remember a song that you heard in a speakeasy about this woman, this witchy woman who lived in the swamps and could make love potions. And it really, even with 10s, that's about all the information that you know about her. But the fact that in the 1920s, something that happened in New Orleans reached way up in, New Maryland, wherever state it is that you guys are from, the northeast of America, is surprising that info would get there. So, meanwhile, Harker and Hazel, that name means not much to you. Though, Harker, that pressure, the Grim Reaper pressure, it's pushing on the Fae part of you, but it's hugging the rest of you.
Great.
Inside hug.
And is that where we want
hugging
to go
every
to
part of me that isn't Belle.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic. Stephen, thank you so much for watching that, because you know how I am.
Well, it's also, I have a small bladder, so it was like a break should be break time. It was good. So
Okay.
I'd like to say, GB, thank you for running this game so far. To all of you visitors on this Twitch stream, we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go into a place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to bit.ly/adventure merch. Pick yourself up something nice, or consider leaving a comment below, giving us a little bit of a review, what your thoughts are on this wonderful improv game. I enjoy reading all of the comments that we receive. So feel free to drop them. We are going to try and again be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go to a place, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. And hello, everybody, and welcome back. We've done it. We have escaped the fire by getting into more trouble. It would appear.
A voodoo lady.
My tummy is still upset.
You're fine.
But you have a toad son.
Yeah. What are you gonna name them?
Honestly, I haven't really thought about it yet. His existence is troubling, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I hope I don't have bullfrogs in me.
And you actually hear Madame LeBeau kind of laugh to herself a little bit about this conversation.
Like, don't worry, dear. Motherhood can be very rewarding sometimes.
No, I don't want to be a mother.
Well, too late.
You
barfed him up. You barfed him up. You have to take care. That's going to be your project now. You're going to have to take care of this frog and not let it die.
Sorry. That's the way Lilith sees Hazel. You barfed her up, now you gotta take care of her.
Exactly. You went and drank Fey blood, and now look what happened. Should have used protection. All right. As the boat moves by itself,
Sorry.
as it moves by itself through the bayou, the creatures begin to return, and you notice gators and snakes and birds and the things that should be in a swamp at night. Unfortunately, those of you who've been around for a long time know that Mr. Sun is on his way. You've probably still got time, but you'd better get somewhere soon.
Miss LeBeau, how long is it going to take us to get to this destination? You see, we're vampires, and we usually don't take kindly to the sun that's about to come up in a little bit.
Oh, no worry. We'll be there soon. I mean you no harm, Nightwalker. I mean you no harm.
That's new to hear. May I ask, why have you come to what it seems to our rescue?
And she laughs, and the swamp around you seems to become happy. It like flowers bloom, and like lizards skitter and things jump into the water or splash in the water, and very, very strange, you all. Very, very strange. I felt you here. And I want to talk. But not here. Soon. And as she's saying that, small time jump ahead, there's you actually see poles driven into the bayou, and there are skulls atop the poles.
Human?
Give me a roll.
What sort of roll?
Brains.
I've done nothing but brains tonight. 9.
That's a surprise.
All right. Yeah, you would say that the ones you're seeing, there's like gator skulls and some human skulls and a couple that you have no idea. Not even like searching your brain for supernatural stuff. Some of the at least 2 of these skulls don't make any sense to you whatsoever.
Any vampire skulls?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you see several houses on stilts. above the swamp. Like, it's not quite a village, but it's more than just a family worth of houses. So yeah, and then you pull up and there's like a dock there, and the boat settles in all by itself, and she steps up and she says, here, I help you, and reaches out to first you, Harker, because you're closest.
I'm just gonna step out of the boat without taking her hand.
Without taking her hand?
Yeah.
She nods and holds out her hand to you, Hazel.
Oh, I totally take her hand.
Okay. All right.
I have to like wipe the moss off on my coat a little bit and then
right.
reach out and grab.
Okay. By the way, no overcoats. You fled the building.
Yeah,
You're in your ball gown.
In your ball gown. So just as a mental note.
Okay.
So you must have put your little toad in your hanging purse or whatever.
He just has his little toad face poking out.
All right. And you totally take her hand. Give me a moxie roll.
Oh, that's not so bad. 11.
Excellent. Whoa. you grab her hand and you're like, wow, this is amazing. You feel like you're lifted onto the dock. You don't feel yourself stepping onto the dock.
How does this look to the rest of us?
Just like she's stepping onto the dock. She doesn't even make a face, but you know, camera image from a different angle, we all see, the audience see it as like, you know, this sort of warble bubble kind of thing, and you, just like I said, you feel like you're lifted onto the dock. Your tummy is assuaged, but something's still wrong. You know, you don't feel nauseous at all anymore, but
there's like a residual not right.
If we could zoom in on the inside where the lining of your stomach and part of your esophagus that is, you know, vampire anatomy at this point is all covered in little flowers and you know, swampy lilies and whatnot. Local flora and fauna, which would be weird and tickly as hell, but you feel better now.
And cute on the inside as she is on the outside.
Yep.
Covered. Her dress is flowers, so she's covered in flowers outside and inside.
So, and then Lilith, she reaches her hand out to you.
Because I don't know what she is,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like under half my hit points, and she smells like super good right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's just gonna like hold her hand up and just step out by herself, like thank you. But
okay, all right, Beltane.
I'll take her hand and pull myself up.
All right, roll some moxie for me.
All right. 11.
Okay. You as you, again, the same sort of feel like you're being lifted onto the dock. You know that your body you are aware enough of your body and surroundings to know that your body's going through the motions, but you feel light as air. There is a connection. You feel that she is part of a court, at least spring and summer somehow, but you don't feel she is a fae.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's connected, and you rolled an 11.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay, I'll give you some extra for even topping a 10. There is a power. You feel a power that you have felt when you have crossed the iron fences of sanctified church ground. She has the feel of holy ground about her. And the chill of the grave.
All right.
And the boat itself just seems to stay where it is, like it wants to be where it is, and like you couldn't move it if you wanted to. And people come running out of the houses, and they, you know, some say Nana, and some are because there's some kids, and why they're awake at 3 and 4 in the morning, you don't know, but they say Nana and Madame and Mistress, all kinds of titles, and it seems like almost everyone is awake. And so you are led across like platform and decks and docks type deal to a central house that is on stilts. And there, when you enter, there is a cast iron or a cold iron cauldron smoldering upon there's like the wooden floor, and then there's like stones, and then there's, upon the stones is built a small fire, and upon that sits this cold iron kettle. And she says, "First, I have had them make something for you." And you see an elderly gentleman ladle up 2 bowls and brings the bowls to Lilith and Hazel. And it smells like blood.
Does it look like blood? Fuck damn, Hazel.
Hazel, we just talked about this. Literally just talked about this.
She seems so nice, though.
All right, so Hazel just digs in. Okay. It's weird and spicy and good, but like, you don't know. You've never had anything like this. Yeah, you've never tasted anything like this. It's good. It's a little, ooh, it makes you feel flush, even though you're a vampire, and your wounds are healing. It is blood.
Totally about this. It helps the queasy in my tummy go away.
and she smiles and nods, just a kind of a bow nod.
It's gonna be like somebody's gonna poison you, and you're just be like, "Oh, that's fine, Hazel. As you know, don't listen to the Fae who's lived through all this." But no, I don't know.
She was really nice.
Yeah, your grandmother was very nice, and she tried to kill you.
Beltane, just calm down. I understand. Lilith waits for a moment, see if Hazel has any reaction. While she's talking to like Beltane.
Okay. Okay. And we still have an hour?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure I get through certain story points. And she says, "Oh, Nightwalker, if I want to no longer with us, you would no longer be with us. You interest me. So please, if you would, it'll help you from your hunger." And she looks at you like, "I know you want to eat me." Like, I'm doing this to protect me.
Lilith will wait a second and then she'll drink it.
Okay. You have been around long enough and have had to, at times, partake of animal blood. There's gator in this. There's people in this. and there's spice in this. It's there's some magic to it. You actually get 2d6 hit points back, both of you.
Oh, nice.
I healed a full then. I only have 11
Yeah,
HP and I was
same.
missing 2.
Okay. All right.
I gained. I was at 6 hit points out of 14.
Yeah. And she looks at the other two of you. Were either of you wounded?
I gave some blood.
Yeah, Beltane was shot in the gut, I think. Yeah, gut.
All right. So she walks up and she like looks at you and sees the burn hole and whatnot in your shirt, and she's, may I?
Yes, that's fine.
And she puts her hand down there, and the metal goes into her hand like like a magnet, and she pulls it out and she throws it on the floor and she spits on it, and she takes her literal green thumb, and kind of rubs the spot, and you get d6 back. Points back.
Amazing. Heal back to full.
And she says, "You're kind of not so easy to patch up."
No, we're not. But it's fine. Thank you.
And looks over at Harker and is like, "That will have to do itself. You gave that freely, didn't you?"
Well, yeah.
And she smiles and she looks over at Hazel, and looks at your frog and says, or your toad, and says, "And you're new, aren't you?" And the toad seems to nod.
Okay.
"And you are not from here, are you?" And the toad nods, and she smiles, and she says, "Are you taking care of him, or shall he stay with me?"
He's your son now.
I can take
Hazel.
care of him.
Are you sure? You just drank a bowl after I said not to.
Feeding me and feeding Jambalaya Weber is going to be very different.
No.
Uh-huh. What do toads eat, Hazel?
Flies?
Oh,
Other insects.
brilliant.
Small mice.
What do fey toads eat,
Yeah.
Hazel?
Follow-up question, isn't it?
Flies. Fey small mice.
You might have to help her out there, dear. And she talks to Beltane.
I get the feeling
I'll get
we should be asking right now.
If
Oh,
she wants to prove she's responsible, then she's going to have to take care of it.
so I would like to know your story, and if we were to hold hands, to make a circle, I could know the whole story soon. Or we can sit till the sun comes up and talk.
Why do you want to know our story?
You are such strange folk.
Could say the same thing about you.
I
I believe she's divinely touched.
Why, first off, before we join hands in a little kumbaya circle and you tell our whole story, what is your story? Why, not your entire story if you don't want to, of course, but why exactly do you want to talk with us?
Because I never see people who need my help so much. You're all confused, all mixed. Hazel, you actually grabbed her hand, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did earlier.
She says, you have something old in you, something very old, older than the swamp itself. And you, and points to Rue. Oh, Rue didn't grab her hand though, right?
Nope.
Okay. She says to Harker, wait, Beltane, she grabbed your hand, right?
Yeah.
And she says, your kind I have dealt and felt and lived with. They live here too.
Hmm. That makes me happy.
But you're an outlaw, she says. She doesn't like to say the word, but no other word makes sense.
In a way.
I'm an outcast. Yes. If I may, madam, I have to tell my friends something before we proceed with it, because if I don't tell them directly, one of them might murder me.
Which one?
See, I say to you, this a fun group. You are so very interesting. Please say what you need to say. And she begins to talk to the people that are also there, and she's dismissing some of them, like what's going to happen next is probably best not for children, kind of thing.
They'll turn to the other three. So when the circle was created and I was pulled in about 10 different directions, I struck a deal with Oberon.
Excuse me?
Isn't that the guy from that Shakespeare book?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. When you said struck a deal, like Harker's eyes just went like so severe, and then you said Oberon, and like that was basically like saying I made friends with Thor from the Marvel movies.
Yeah, Woody Woodpecker and I are pals now.
Yeah. You want to explain exactly what that means?
Why would you
Oberon?
make a deal with Oberon?
My duty is to your court, Lilith, and that court includes Hazel and Harker.
They have not taken a vow yet.
By extension, they are us and we are them.
I guess.
I made a deal. Detective, I made this deal to help you, the others, and everybody else in that house. Ballroom.
And the consequences? What's the catch? There's always a catch with Oberon.
I go to my trial date.
You what? Why are you on trial? You're so nice.
The
Because
Fae
he
have
broke-
parole offices?
He broke many rules.
A lot of rules.
Well, but
I'm banished from the Fae.
so
I
if-
went to the Fae. I went to my court. Things I'm not supposed to do.
And you brought undead with you.
I did that. Yep, I did.
Mhm.
And
you're
I
finally gonna-
sacrificed. Yep, I did a lot of things. I created an immortal. I sacrificed on a holy day. I brought undead into the Fae. I brought dead into my court. Brought some dead into the court of spring, which Oberon resides over.
So you're finally gonna see your day in court.
Why would you agree to this? There's nothing I can do to help you in there, right?
I know,
Then why would you do this?
because the three of you are my family.
I know a pretty good lawyer.
Do you know Fae law, my dear?
He could learn it.
It takes a while.
I'm very upset.
I love Jambalaya already.
But I think there's a way around it. There are very old laws in place for a reason like this. Just have to get the right court on it.
Well, we have ties too with other courts. Do what you wish then. And she'll kind of sit down and just look away.
I'm really torn up that you're finally gonna face consequences for all the things you've done over the years.
These consequences were directly from protecting you, Rue.
Mr. Beltane saved us.
Do
Multiple
you even
times.
know what he did, Detective?
Tatiana's gone.
I don't think you should be one to judge Beltane's crimes, Detective.
I'm not judging anything. On the other hand, Belle, while we're here, what's your read on old Golden Eyes over here?
I think she's still in the room.
She's totally hanging out there.
I'm kind of turned away from her and whispering. But if she's listening, that's fine.
Like I said,
Beltane-
she's directing people and stuff currently. So
Beltane thinks she's divinely touched. She's part of an ancient court I can't quite pin down, but I think she's a true magic user. Part of something I haven't seen in years. It's quite fascinating, actually.
Well, she reminds me of something I've actually seen quite recently. Before you helped me without my asking.
I am truly sorry for that. I wanted to ask. I'm sorry I failed you. I failed a lot of you.
You failed no one.
Harker's gonna kind of punch him on the shoulder.
Ow!
Chin up, Tinkerbell.
Tatiana would have wanted to go out that way. We all knew it.
My car is... it's not the same, but not... I would sacrifice a lot of things for the three of you. You should know that. And a day in court with Oberon, it's just no small thing.
No, it's
But I would do it 1,000 times over.
and as you guys are talking now, you've realized that people are on the outside of this house. They're covering the windows with reed mats, multiple layers of these reed curtains, almost like bamboo curtains kind of thing, like pounded flat reeds that are interlaced, and basically they're shutting out what will be light soon. They're dark light proofing the place.
You and I, Beltane, will have to have a talk once we get all this done with.
Of course.
What was the thing that you felt, sis?
Death.
I see.
I guess that makes sense.
Huh.
Welcome to the club.
I wouldn't know.
She's gonna get really close to Lilith and just point at her and say, "You don't know nothing about the other side."
Sure about that, Detective?
You know about all this. You know about being dead here. The other side, completely different.
Of course, Detective.
Hey, Goldeneye.
Yeah.
What exactly is happening in the big city right now?
And she looks like, oh, I had forgotten about the fire. And
Whoops! Just forgot about the giant demonic fire.
and she walks over to that cauldron, and she passes her hand over it, and instead of like thick blood soup plops that you've been hearing, like as it's been kind of bubbling and boiling, the blood soup, it suddenly stops. That the noise stops, and she looks into it. Beltane, you can probably see into it. Anyone who's standing right now could see that instead of that sort of greenish red thick stew that was there, it is now just water. It's just this like clear water. And she looks at it, and you can hear her sub-vocalizing something. And she kind of laughs to herself and says, the fire no longer seeks you. I confused it.
All right. But is it still burning New Orleans to the ground?
Not it. Just its remnants for children. It has left. There is fire, basically, is what she's saying, is that the real fire is still there. Mm-hmm. But the what you believe is what you believe is a demonic fire is gone.
All right. That's all I wanted to know. Now, how come you smell like death?
How come you smell like food?
And she laughs and she says, "Hey, let us become a circle, and you will know."
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna hold hands with you, but we're not making any deals. And this doesn't mean anything other than kumbaya. Learn my story.
You learn it from the day we arrived in New Orleans to now. No further. Agreed?
Agreed.
Good.
And there are stools already set out, and she says, Rue, she uses your name, and says, next to me, and Beltane next to me. Your magic it will help. And she says, and Nightwalkers here and here does not matter, however you would like.
I'll sit next to Beltane.
I would go next to my sister.
Okay.
When she uses Rue's name, she's gonna give Belle a look like, you seeing this shit?
Beltane's like, I don't know.
All right, we do that.
All right. And you taking hands, her hands are above, you guys' are buckets above buckets as you go around in the circle. And she says, now all of us at once, one deep breath. You all breathe together. As you do, you feel the magic, the circle fill. You feel yourselves encompassed, and breathe in, accept. Nice indoor. Chad. You feel the magic and encompass all of you, and that the time from when you arrived in New Orleans till now is known to all of you. Rue, your conversations with the book are now known to the other three, well, other four, technically. Any other secret things happened since you've been in New Orleans?
I was
I don't
up
think so.
front with everything.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that was really the only secret, other than Beltane already said about Oberon. So that secret's out. And from her, you basically see and understand that she could feel all of the vampires and such that came here. And you know that she was most interested in Rue and Hazel. And in this exchange and during this moment of accept and clarity, she asks you, Rue, if you wish to expel the Fae and be mere mortal again. And it's not necessarily even her asking. You can feel you can feel that angel of death there. And you can feel that they got in trouble for you becoming a Fae. Like that wasn't part of the plan. But like I said, in this moment, you can give up your Fae. You can feel that it can be pushed right out of you.
So I could, out of character.
Yes.
I want to discuss this out of character and then discuss character reasons for doing things. Out of character, this would be removing the hint of Fae situation that Belle gave her, and then then what? Then it what is the alternative there? Is it death? Because
no, it is not death. You have cheated death.
So just become human again.
I could drop it and become a human.
Yep.
All right.
But then you wouldn't be immortal anymore.
Yeah. No, see, because we did this for out of character reasons, so that Rue could be immortal and we could do crazy stuff down the line.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which implies that there's a plan for something else.
And you feel that's what you feel is the angel of death made a mistake or got in trouble for you being ripped away, for making that deal.
So what would this mean for Belle in particular?
Belle would get that piece back. And I don't know if Harker would know this, but that it would be a lesser crime because it was something borrowed, not removed. It's still a crime.
Yeah.
You want to think on it for a sec?
I do kind of want to think about it.
Okay, think on it for a sec, because Hazel, you feel that part of you that is something old she's talking about. You feel that she can't remove that, but she can help you accept it.
Yeah, that sounds neato to me.
That should be like Hazel's like tagline. Like, so that sounds neato to me. Like, if you were an Overwatch character, that'd be your voice
Yeah,
line.
exactly. The hashtag.
Drink the Fey blood. You got it.
What could go wrong?
Okay, so you just accept that offer?
Yeah, there's not even really a second question about it, mostly because I didn't even know I had this old ancient thing until like 20 minutes ago, but if she's willing to help me accept it, it's better to do it now than let it become a problem much later on.
Or make it a conflict.
Yeah.
And you where those flowers were growing in your stomach, you feel that through every fiber of your being.
There's something growing? Like flowers growing?
You feel life flow through you. Like every fiber of your being goes, like from where those flowers were in you, you feel it go through every, you don't know what cells are, but cell of your body, every inch of you, that life grows, and it grows all through every part of you, except your dark heart. Your dark heart stays. You will forever need the essence of life, that which feeds your vampiric form. You will always need.
So is Hazel still a vampire, or is she like an in between, like more in between than a vampire is?
Yeah, you don't know right now.
Does she look alive?
She looks vibrant.
But she doesn't have like the flush or anything like that.
Nope. She still outwardly appears to be vampiric.
Vampire, okay.
But there is a feel of life to her. Like you can sense animals' heartbeats and stuff. So her heart isn't beating. She's still a vampire in all, but there's a different energy to her.
Would this sever the connection that I have with Hazel?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Okay. All right. Beltane, or wait, I guess we have to actually make the decision first. Back to you, Harker.
All right, there are 4 things that Harker wants. It's to protect Hazel, protect the innocent, gain vengeance for what happened to her fiance, and to preserve her humanity. These are 4 things that tend to kind of butt heads with each other. So I kind of want everybody's input here on making this decision. So like the offer here is to expel the Fae inside of Harker. That would fall in line with preserving her humanity.
I would think there's a possibility that you would still be immortal because of what the Angel of Death wanted. So you wouldn't be immortal through Fae means, you'd be immortal through like divine plan means. So you would still have your humanity, still be able to protect your sisters for as long as she lives, and protect others. But that's me inferring that you would still be immortal because that's what the Angel of Death wanted.
The only thing that's been offered to Harker so far is to lose the Fae part and to basically bail some angel of death out of trouble that she doesn't know or care about. That's your fault. I had nothing to do with that.
You could ask the angel, be like, will I be immortal?
Where are you at, Angel?
Okay, give me a charm roll.
Oh god.
Where you at, Angel Face? Let's talk. Oh, damn. Why am I having such good rolls tonight?
Why are you complaining about that?
Because I'm furious. That's an 11.
All right.
Just on the die. I don't have any charm.
Okay. Nice. As you, where you at, Angel? You feel a power flood in.
Mm-hmm.
A wave come in. Riding on that wave of like golden light
Mm-hmm.
is indeed our grim friend. Skull face, dark robes, the whole shebang. But they ride in on like a blazing sun. And the rest of you are suddenly like, as we see the circle from outside, none of you are aware of this, but you're all holding hands, like I said, buckets and not holding hands, and all of your heads have been thrown back and your eyes are open and gold light is just like shaking from them. I'm going to say, Lilith, you're aware of this, and it's not exactly comfortable. It's like you're falling. It's that rumbling roller coaster fall kind of feeling. Beltane, the wave comes over you, and you feel pushed back, like to the brink of being shoved back into the Fae realm wilds. You feel like you're being pushed back there, like physically. So like Lilith, you feel like you're dropping, and Beltane, you feel like you're about to be thrown from the circle. And not that you're gripping at all, but the bond between you is holding you there. So Harker, you see the figure standing there in its robes, just a skull. Again.
Hey there, Angel Face.
So you've met Madame LeBeau?
Yeah, we're having a little talk.
And?
It sounds like you want to go back on what happened.
Death stammers.
Wow, death stammers.
Unsure.
I was supposed to make you a deal, but a deal was made for you.
Huh. What sort of deal were you talking about?
Well, my boss wants you to work for him.
Who is your boss exactly?
And the golden light that is surrounding him flares up, and he rolls his sockets and tilts his head at you like you're just playing dumb. And when he writes his skull, you see two little pinpoints of that golden light appear in the eye sockets that beam straight into your eyes. And if I were to say his name, you would be deafened.
Huh. Does he know what I've been doing with that book for the past 5 years? Because I feel like
and again, there's no face to make an emotion. He says, yeah, he knows. They know. Sorry, stupid pronouns. They know.
Huh.
You know about monsters. Now you know something about the other side.
If it's all the same to you, Angel Face, I kind of want to stay neutral.
All right. Miss LeBeau can still push, remove, give back, swap, whatever. She can get rid of that Fae for you. But without my boss's protection, you're just as squishy as before. Though, and he leans in conspiratorially, he says, but I might owe you one. And he leans way back to a complete upright, straight position. He seemed to like morph and bend and come towards you when he said that, and then languishly pops back into his rigid form.
You know what, Angel Face? Let's stay in touch. I might could do you a few favors. I scratch your back, you scratch mine. But I'm a little afraid of commitment.
Okay, and then, even though he's like 10 or 12 feet away from you, suddenly the skeletal hand hangs from this tapering robe and puts out a hand.
She's gonna just take her hand out and put it down and not shake hands with him, and we'll stay in touch.
And the arm just sort of comes back, through that weird dimensional space. And if he could smile, you see him smile. You feel the smile of death. Like, I like this game. And then the golden light balls up around him and is gone. The rest of you, Beltane, you don't feel pushed. Lilith, you stop falling suddenly, oh.
I do not care for that at all.
And I think that's all the deals and stuff, right? I mean, we kind of went around the circle. Lilith is Lilith. She has no outstanding anything, really.
She lives this life by choice.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey.
No, I mean that in a good way. You got you are your own person. You're a strong, powerful vampire who don't need no outside forces.
She is the outside force.
She is the outside force. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I think other than that, unless you have any quick questions about Madame LeBeau, I will, because again, you are in a circle. You are memory joining and whatnot.
What is she, and where does she stand in this? In anything? She
is the voodoo priestess. Ooh. She is voodoo, and voodoo is the bringing together of the old and the new and the religious. And so she is like a walking ley line of magic and power. And how she got there, that's a story from before you guys arrived in New Orleans. So, and
That's fair.
but yes, she is some sort of magical nexus. Beltane, she is akin to the true Merlin. But she's also very misunderstood because this world, the modern world, you know, the veil coming about, the Industrial Revolution and such has muted magic in the world. The veil has crept forth and magic has been snuffed out by its cover, as it were. So magic is, again, much more rare. Anything else?
What was the recipe for this jambalaya?
Mostly gator blood.
Fake blood, actually.
So
Fake
this
blood
was my
and one
Gatorade.
type
I get it now.
of stuff. How you get a jambalaya Weber.
Yep. Boiled swamp water, a lot of gator blood, and then basically everyone in this village gave a drop of their blood.
Huh.
So
Nice.
Nice of them.
yeah. So okay, and then the breath ends. You all exhale, and you find yourself just letting go of each other's hands. Not that you were holding, but that they were setting upon each other.
Mhm.
But the magnet-like force that was holding them together just breaks, and your hands come apart. And I knew you'd be interesting, folk, she says, as her eyes roll back to her golden pupils. They were just like sheer white, and she like cracks her bones and smiles.
Hazel is just kind of like looking at her hands, just flexing them. Like, this is weird. Her whole body feels nauseous, but she's not sure if it's like a good nausea or a bad nausea yet.
Yeah, and you can feel in a way you haven't in a long time. So like when you're a vampire, your senses are heightened. So like something that touches your skin is like, you know, ecstasy. Your smells are mega sharp. Your eyesight able to focus more intently than a human. But you're also detached from the living world because you are not alive. You now feel alive. You feel the life around you. You know how when you walk into a room and there's a little kid hiding behind a couch and you could just know there's a little kid there because you can just feel their energy?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can walk into a room with like an elderly person sleeping in a chair and not see them at all because there's just no, you know, they're so calm and serene. There's just nothing, no energy. You can now feel that. You feel the world upon your skin once more. So after 5 years of choosing to feel things, this is a little weird. So you're getting outside stimuli in a way you haven't in 5 years. It's like being in a wind all of a sudden. You were in a calm room and now you're standing in the wind, or breeze, I should say. So yeah, that's the feeling you're getting. Lilith, you still feel attached to her. She still has the vampiric heart of darkness.
Okay. Yeah.
The day passes. The next day, or the daytime comes. Of course, those of vampiric ilk are, you know, every time there a small beam of sun comes in somewhere, someone in the room, probably Madame LeBeau. Yeah, she'd have something going. She'll Madame LeBeau goes over and like spreads some mud upon the pinpoint hole of sunlight, and the day passes. The night comes. She bids you all farewell. She takes you to an old road in her boat. She takes you to an old road, and the old truck is there, but it has been made as new as it can. It's not new painted or new parts or anything like that, but it's repaired. It's fixed. It will get you home. And now, where there was wood slats and pallet flats, now there is a. It's almost like a. I don't know if anybody would know. Do you know what an old ambulance or an old panel van is like? It's almost like a covering. It's almost like they turned this into a hearse. It looks like an ambulance. They took the old flatbed part out and put basically an ambulance on the back. So now there's a pass-through window between the cab and the back, and there's one big room. The windows have been painted black, and you can tell that it's been made for vampiric needs.
Before she leaves, she's gonna turn to Madame LeBeau and she's like, should you need anything? She opens up her purse, pulls out like a little business card.
Okay.
Should you find yourself in my area, you can come contact us. I do have my own organization and my own court, the Court of Twilight. Should you need anything, we appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm a private occult investigator, and she's like digging through her pockets trying to find her business card, and she's just like,
Lilith pulls out one of her business cards and gives it like of Harker's business cards.
Scrawls a phone number and an address on the back and hands that to her.
All right. She says, we have been in a circle. A circle is never broken. Truly never broken.
Yeah, but you can always, use a phone.
Yes. Yeah, that would be lovely if you could give us a heads
and
up.
She laughs a musical laugh, like, wholeheartedly, into the sky, and the birds around begin to sing, call back to her laugh, and she bows a little bit, and then the boat begins to just drift backwards all by itself with her standing on the prow. Again, she seems to have no weight. The boat is perfectly sitting in the water. And like I said, she bows, and then she just sort of drifts off into the swamp.
Hazel's just waving. You were really nice!
I'll turn to Hazel. Do you have your frog?
I still have jambalaya weather. It's okay.
From inside the purse.
Open the purse up because he needs air.
Lilith turns to Beltane. She's like, does she remind you of anyone?
Yeah. Reminds me of Jean.
Yeah. We have to have a conversation about him.
Is he still in France?
He should be.
I hope so. Need to call him.
Yes. Well, he's busy, but
Pretty busy.
She looks at like the detective and then back at Beltane. She's like, we have to have a conversation about that and Jean.
I've got a name.
It's not necessarily you. It's all about you, detective.
About that. Looking at the detective.
Yeah, a conversation would be good. I think Jean would like her.
No.
They could be friends.
We're not talking about that.
As the new nameless truck, who shall have a name, I assume, at some point, Beltane, by our next session.
It's Puck.
Puck the truck. Awesome. Oh, it's the best. Okay, so as Puck begins to rattle and rumble, you all away from the bayou. This conversation is going on. And I think that's where we'll draw to an end, and we'll deal with a few little things, and then do our closeout. Right?
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Okay. For instance, I would have to look. Did we say how we were doing experience?
It was on fails, right?
Yeah, and I think we were doing.
If I failed but used a luck point, does this still count as a failure?
It does not.
Damn it.
Discuss.
Damn.
I was really well this session.
Hence it will be hard for you guys to go up. So we will also do milestones connected to like time jumps and things. Currently some outstanding business. We have talked a little bit, Hazel or Stephen, Indoor. We've talked a little bit, all of the above, about some things about when you level up. So between now and next month, we will talk more on that. Harker we'll talk. Oh, sorry. We'll talk more about your now hint of Fae. One thing that we can say, Beltane, you felt the return of the bit you gave, and you also feel when that bit came back, you felt something come with it, a touch of humanity.
Oh no!
Hint of human.
Which you feel that you've gotten some invisibility to Fae coming, some sort of masking or whatever to some of the Fae court. You feel protected by that touch of humanity a little bit. So it will be harder for the Fae courts to find you. If you want to put touch of humanity, and then you can write Fae invisibility or something next to it, then we'll know what that means.
Fae masking.
Yeah. And so Fae masking. That's pretty much the housekeeping stuff that I really can think of. If not, we'll get back to it in Discord some other time. Do we want to do our shout outs, Indoor? Who we are and where you can find us? Or?
Yeah, starts off.
All right. Well, I'm Graybeard's Tavern, and this was Looming 20s, a game we wrote in a single evening and cobbling together other games. And a lot of it is improv. We just kind of have fun with these characters, and someday we should print out a book of the Looming 20s Discord, because it's ridiculous how much we love and talk about these characters. So come back next month and talk to us then. Also too, we will be going into a Nights in the Courtyard. You can always check out the Patreon and check out past episodes for us for Looming 20s, because we love it so. The first couple episodes I did a lot of scene changes and props because they were supposed to be one shots, and I wanted to crazy pimp them out, and future ones we may do the same. So go check those out on YouTube. That's what I have to say for me. Other than that, look me up on Twitter. My schedule is there.
Sounds good. All right, Satan, where can we find you?
DanaeKeener.com.
All right, Satan, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey y'all, I'm Satan. You can find me in a lot of places. You can find me on Twitter at Alyssa Vamp. You can find me tonight on my own stream channel called Plot Hunters, where we'll be continuing with our Tomb of Annihilation game with some really, really awesome people. We're an all POC LGBTQ plus channel. So if you like to support spaces like that, come join us and support spaces like that. You can also find me Mondays at Pro Restarter playing Dark Sun, where I play a really cool rogue, and Wednesdays over at Dammit Berry's channel playing Ghost of Saltmarsh, where I play a really cute tiefling. And you can find all that on my Twitter because there's a little schedule with all the links and stuff. And you can find me here at the end of every month with these awesome, awesome people. So yeah. And Danae.com.
Speaking of Danae, where can we find you? What do you do?
My name's Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and stuff on this channel. You can find me here on Monday playing Coriander the Eldrin Paladin, or on Tuesday running Curse of Strahd. You can also find me here the last Saturday of each month playing our urban fantasy 1920s RPG improv game, which is now going to be a common thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tune in for all of those shows. They're fantastic. I love my players. I love my GMs. I love GMing, and I love playing. So, tune in to DanaeKeener.com.
All right. So, Jen, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm Jen. You can find me over on Twitter at LaughmakerDND. You can find me here at the end of every month playing Beltane Hotline. I'm over at the SS Avengers every Sunday playing a very mopey halfling who just doesn't get why people keep giving him things, so he's just going along with it.
Alrighty. And if you have made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do this show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and once a month at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can catch us doing the Looming 20s game. Other than that, Saturdays are kind of up in the air community days, so if you have a one-shot that you want to run, we will find you players. Otherwise, I will just be building Gundam models and hanging out, having a good time. I like Gundam. It's fun. But with that, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported podcast. Yes, GB.
One last thing, I do have a new show starting this week that I can announce now because it's out. It's Death's Curios over on Encounter Roleplay, and I play a German mad scientist trapped in Victorian steampunk, post-apocalyptic London with zombies and vampires. That's at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time over on Encounter Roleplay. I can announce that now, so yay me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. That seems like that game has a lot going on in it. But yes, so if you're interested in helping support this show, consider going to patreon.com/Indoor Adventures. We have an after show that we do where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community at large. So if you're curious about any of these characters that we've put on for these games, consider checking that out. But until then, we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!